Welcome. Hello. How are you? Welcome to you all who joined me here. This is Enchantress the Babbler's channel here on YouTube. Thank you so much for tapping in, turning on, tuning in with I. This is our little mini setup for today, guys. Don't ask me questions. But either way, thank you so much for tapping in, turning on, tuning in with me, Enchantress the Babbler, here on our evolutionary, revolutionary rise of a high that is happening here, now, at this time. Welcome. So today is going to be another astrological insight, inner dive into the upcoming new moon in Sagittarius. Sagittarius, the new moon. So whenever you find this message, all of these messages are timeless, of course. So when you find yourself here, you find yourself here. So don't pay too much attention to the dates and stuff like that. But this new moon is occurring December 12th, 2023. This is obviously recorded before that date. Speaking of that upcoming date, it's considered, all of them are considered significant astrological events, right? But it's inviting us to really look towards and forward to the future, right? With a sense of optimism and curiosity about what that's going to bring, right? That's the sign of Sagittarius, right? Because it's ruled by Jupiter, right? Ruled by Jupiter and associated with the element of fire, right? Fire. And Sagittarius has this quality to them that they bring joy, right? Expansion and a deep sense of meaning to our lives in many different ways, right? Uniquely, vibrantly, and stuff like that. So as the new moon approaches, it's offering us this powerful opportunity to gain, right? Clarity, right? On what we truly desire to inspire as we aspire to be all that we are. And as we truly desire, we do connect, right? And how our true desires are connecting with our intuition, right? And our guidance. Tapping us into our intuition for further guidance, right? And the potential that we hold and have and to hold, right? This guidance on manifesting our dreams. And so we're going to talk about these things, right? Because during this new moon, there's a veil that uplifts. It transcripts, it transforms, it transmutes, but it's the veil between our conscious, right? Our conscious and our subconscious, right? Hold on. I gotta check on something. Sorry. I will continue. Right. So what were we talking about? Okay, anyways, but seriously, the veil between our consciousness and our subconscious, right? And how, oh, that's gonna annoy me. Oh, hold on 1 second. Hopefully that's better now. I'm sorry. I know that you don't hear the sound and the sounds and the stuff that goes on behind the scenes and stuff, but I do. You might hear some singing cats too, but it's okay. It's because of the full moon, you know what I mean? But either way, so our conscious and our subconscious, right? It's like, I don't like to use the word lowered, but it's kind of like it's like if the defenses are down, right? And like, or like, yeah, so like the veil, it's lowered. The veil is removed, so to speak, right? And it allows us, right, to tap into our deepest desires, our deepest understandings, understandings, right? Of what we truly want and who we truly are on a soul level, right? And so this goes beyond, right, our fleeting desires, and instead, like, focuses upon our own souls, um in this lifetime. At least it's evolution, you know what I mean? Even though everything is all encompassing, everything is tied together, infinite as one, right? In this lifetime of an experience, we're experiencing it in the now, right? Well, hopefully we're experiencing it in the now, right? Even though we're tied into all that intertwines with the all that is one, right? In this life experience, it's in our now subconscious, right? So it focuses on our soul's purpose here in this lifetime, right? Right. So this new moon in Sagittarius, in Western astrology, I am a Sagittarius. So yeah, my birthday just passed too. Woohoo! So happy birthday to all my fellow Scorpio Sagittarians, because in Vedic astrology, I'm Scorpio. So for those of you that are having birthdays now, right? Let's say from the end of November to at least the second week of December. Like, I don't know exactly when it ends. I don't know if it's the 14th, 15th, or 16th, or when the new moon, right? Right. So when the new moon hits, up until the new moon hits the 12th, I would say the 12th. So up until, like, let's say the end of November to December 12th, we're dealing with Scorpio Sagittarius, right? I'm gonna do something about that. Let me write that down. Hold. What's up, my fellow lefties? I know we're the rarity, but we are the true being that sees right, you see. Anyways, we're the only ones that see right. But either way, right? So yeah, so this new moon in Sagittarius, right? It teaches us about ourselves, because that's what Sagittarius is all about, right? The learning process, right? The teacher's process, right? The teacher-student process, right? So Sagittarius teaches us about ourselves, um, and encourages us to continue to learn about ourselves and to never stop. You know what I mean? But it encourages us to trust ourselves too, to trust in the path, to know that even if we don't, um, if our purpose is not clear, that the more that we trust in our path, the more that it will become abundantly clear. You know what I mean? And so the more that we trust in ourselves and we envision a life filled with everything we desire, we can obtain that, you know? At least we believe that for everybody else, because Sagittarius has this melancholy kind of thing, right? As philosophical as they may be, and as optimistic and positive as one might be, there's still like a seed of healing in the sign of Sagittarius, that is kind of like the wounded healer, you know, and that story of the wounded healer who was able to heal everyone else but himself, you know what I mean? And so it's kind of like that too. Like, you know what I mean? It's like they got all the tools, they got all the keys, they got all the seeds and stuff like that. And hopefully in this evolution of time, one finds exactly the tool, the key, the seed that they need to really be all encompassing, and to really be the embodiment of that philosopher, that healer. that sage, that guru, that leader, you know. But either way, Sagittarius teaches us, right, to view all experiences as opportunities, because that's what it really is. It's an opportunity for growth and expansion, right? For growth and expansion. So there's nothing really negative, right, or positive, right, about these kind of events. It's a learning. Instead, it's all energies that have the potential to really teach and expand us. And that's dope, right? To teach and expand us, right? Some experiences will challenge us, and that's part of growing, that's part of learning. But and while others can bring joy and all this other kind of stuff, or confusion, whatever the case may be, but however, all these ups and downs, this roller coaster ride ultimately leads to our expansion, our evolution, our growth, right? And so with that comes, with that part of transmutation comes transformation, right? And so Sagittarius encourages us to gain the knowledge that we seek, that we need, right? Explore different perspectives, right? Don't be stuck on just one perspective, one way, right? And always seek the highest meaning behind all that occurs in our lives. And that's the true path, right? So during this new moon, we're really being asked to take this leap, right, of faith, and to learn to adopt an optimistic viewpoint towards the possibilities in our own lives, no matter what has been going down in any kind of avenue, place, or be that we be, right? No matter what has occurred, up until this point, it's let's take this leap of faith. Okay, come on. I know it's scary. I know it's scary. I know, or and for those that don't even think about it, and now being asked to think about it, right? Where are you moving to? What are you doing? How are you doing? How are you moving? What is the purpose of that move, that step that you take? That type of stuff, right? And so, um, and so here we are, right? It's there's so much possibility in all of our life. You know me with the runes. I love the runes, and so my beautiful rune board. I haven't brought this out, I think, on my YouTube channel in a while, right? But whatever. Here we go. I always have it. Right? So yeah, so here we go, right? We got Wonjo, which is all about joy, happiness, and harmony, and hope, success. Here we go, right? We got Wonjo, right? So Wonjo is this, right? Wonjo, right? And it landed here near Dagas, which is about hope, success, and balance, increased prosperity, and good health. And so that's great. That's really great, right? That's really great. But then we got Laguz over here, right? I believe this is Laguz. Yeah. Laguz over here, which is having to learn to go with the flow, right? Because Laguz is all about going with the flow. It's feminine, it's intuitive, right? And so Laguz landed near Wunjo too, right here, right? Which is joy, happiness, harmony, and productivity, right? But it landed in between Wunjo and Gibo, right? Which is, wait, no, wait. Well, Gibo is within this rune here, even though this is not the full Gibo rune, right? Because this is Inguas, right? Which is, right. Anyways, I don't want to get you so crazed or confused about the runes and their names and all that kind of specifics and stuff like that. Like, let's just wusa and take it all in as it's falling in, right? But in between, we have our gifts and our talents, and it's all about our partnerships, right? Which is a good place to be, right? Because, right, because our expansion and our evolution, right, as we continue to gain knowledge, Sagittarius encourages us to gain the knowledge, right? Explore these different perspectives, right? and as we seek, right, we adopt, right, we adopt by taking this leap of faith. We adopt this optimistic viewpoint towards the possibilities in our lives, right? Our gifts and our talents and stuff like that further also expand, enlighten us, right? As we energize, as we get to know our energy, frequency, vibration, as we evolutionize that into our world, right? Into our world, right? Because it's a time not to wonder, right? It's our if our intentions are going to be made manifest, or rather a time to wonder when they will come into fruition. Because it's time for that now, right? So when is it happening? As we align the energy of this day, right? We should embrace the excitement, right? The excitement, joy, the happiness, the excitement, the joy and the happiness that comes, right, with this, because we have the power. We have the power to embrace, right? Truly, we have the power to embrace. Is it is I know we're pre-shadow. I did my video, definitely go watch all my videos and stuff like that. I did the video on Mercury going retrograde soon. It may have gone retrograde. No, not yet. I don't think it's yet, but we're in the shadowy phase, and so whatever, I'm gonna be tongue-tied for days, but whatever. As long as you continue to communicate and find your expression in whatever way that it's gonna be, right? But right, so but we should embrace the excitement, right? The joy, the excitement of our gifts coming into fruition, our talents being recognized by ourselves. I know that sometimes we're still seeking that outside validation, but we must recognize within ourselves the talented being that we are. That is a gift, right? And so don't you forget that. Don't you forget the powerful gift that you are by recognizing the talent that that is from within you. You know what I mean? Nobody can give you that. You have that for yourself, right? Right? It's just like your natural talents, your natural skills, the things you're inclined to do, to learn, to grow, right? It's like the same thing. I just use it as an expression. Like, we can all learn to write a poem, but a poet's soul is a poet's soul. Like, right? Nobody's gonna teach me how to write poetry. They might teach me different forms of different kind of poetries and stuff like that, but poetry lives within me. You know what I mean? And so here we are. We have this power to create the life we truly desire. And by tapping into that, by holding on to that, by going with the flow, right? Laguz is about going with the flow. It's feminine, it's intuitive, tapping in, turning on, tuning in to that intuitive side of you, that feminine side of you, that flowing side of you, that water side of you, right? That darkened side of you too, right? Because we should embrace it, right? And then here I was ignoring this one, but I'm not ignoring this one, right? Um, I always get right. It's Swahilo, right? And this is the sun energy, so this is Swahilo, and Swahilo landed too in between the Gibo, and I want to say it's because it was here and I moved it, right? Is touching 3 key knots, right? Which is light through the dark. It's an opening, right? So it's light through the dark, which is the sun, right? Swahilo is the sun, energy, fertility, victory, mastery, positivity. Wow, this is fucking great. Like, this is such a great positive. Don't look at my toes. You see my toes? Hi, do you see me? Oh. Okay. Right. So here we are, right? What was I saying? I'm sorry. I had to respond to that. Um, so Wow, so it's between the 3. So I like that I'm looking at it this way, right? It's between the 3. Joy, happiness, harmony, productivity, gifts, talents, partnerships, and kinas, right? Which is light through the dark. And we have the sohilo, the sun energy, this vibrant fire energy, right? This fertility, right? Giving birth to the victory, the mastery with positivity, right? I love that. I love that. And then now that I'm looking at that, right? Dagas, right? So Wunjo is between Dagas and Othala, which is heirloom and its property, right? And traits and inheritance, right? So your spiritual inheritance, your earthly inheritance, right? Here, Othala, right? So, very interesting, right? Very interesting. So, right, it's just what I'm getting, right? We need to learn to align, right? To align. If you're not already there, like doing stuff, we're going to talk about getting there, being there, embracing being there and stuff like that. And really um growing from this space, right? This power to create the life we truly desire, right? Because the moon is influenced by Sagittarius, and Sagittarius' planetary ruler is Jupiter, right? The planet of expansion, right? It's about expansion, right? And so with Jupiter, right, being currently retrograde, it's retrograde, I believe, in Taurus, right? It's encouraging us, right? And this here comes with the Othala, property, heirloom property, right? And Taurus, because it encourages us to ground, right? Taurus is all about grounding, right? Grounding our energies, ourselves, and listening to the subtle messages, right? From our own bodies, our own truths, our own wisdoms, right? Our bodies can provide, right? When we pay attention and listen, right? Maybe some of you have Virgo in your chart, or read about the Virgo qualities and traits and characteristics of how they can even tap in, turn on, tune in to subtle energies, right? And stuff like that, because our bodies can provide valuable insights, right? And indicate whether we are holding ourselves back, right? And if we're holding ourselves back, why are we holding ourselves back? Is it due to fear, right? Where is that fear stemming from, right? Is it part of our conditioning? Is it part of our experience that has leaned us into operating with a fear mind, right? With a lack mind as well, right? Um, and learning to be a little bit open to the discomfort of what the unknown feels like, right? Because a lot of the times we want to know, no, no, no. I want to know. I want to know. I know, right? I want to know. And so that feeling of uncertainty that can creep in when you don't know can create a fear. It can create a blockage. It can create some type of like, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, right? But if we learn to really, truly, positively embrace, right, that discomfort, the discomfort of the unknown as we continue to grow and evolve, wow, imagine what we really, truly can create. Right? Because Jupiter also helps us to recognize where we may not be reaching our fullest potential. It's like, yo, let's get real here. Let's be real, right? So during this new moon, we're encouraged to dream bigger, right? And envision every possibility that may have seemed unimaginable before, but now it's doable. Now it's workable. So you might even be seeing where you were stuck, let's say 10 years ago. And now you're seeing the 10 years ago where you were stuck. Like, whoa, that's it? Wait a minute. That's all I gotta do? How come I didn't see it like this from before? It's like, epiphany, right? It's just like expansion, right? And sometimes it takes that. Sometimes it takes those levels of roller coaster rides of growth to put you in the position that you're in to be able to see further than you've ever been able to see before, right? Because as Jupiter helps us to recognize, right? And that's, you can identify it as Jupiter, or you could identify it as your evolutionary growth with yourself, all the work you've put in. Now you recognize, right? Now you recognize where you weren't reaching your fullest potential, and now you're ready to make changes about it. Now you're ready to act upon it. Now you're ready to, okay, I'm gonna take care of this. I'm gonna handle this. I'm gonna do this. So during this new moon, we're encouraged, right, to dream bigger, make bigger moves, right? And it's important to notice if we are doubting ourselves or placing limiting beliefs, right, on our visions, and stopping that shit, like, dead in its tracks, right? And if you're not in the space to really dive into, well, let me work on this limiting belief and dive into the mechanisms of the root of all this other, if you're not equipped for all of that, then change the behavioral pattern that you identify with at that present moment in time and adjust that. And then you can dive deeper into the roots of those things when you're in a better space and place to dive into that space and place. Sometimes we don't have time, right? I'm not going to go drudge all of this shit up. Like, I'm ready to make the next move. So make the next move, but adjust the sails as you're going along the way. Like, see where your behavioral pattern and conditioning is fucking you up, right? And then adjust that appropriately. Continue to make those strides, make those moves. And then when you're ready at another later time and date, you can dive into the root of cause of all that other emotional turmoil, baggage, and conditioning that was fucking you up all along. And sometimes too, depending on where your evolution is, all of it will come together all at once. The epiphany, the move, the understanding, the understanding, and here you are, you're like, oh, upgrade. This makes sense now. I'm ready to make my next moves. All this feels good. Chakra recalibrations. I'm up here like, ooh, woo, okay. And so you move. You move and you dance to the beat of your own drums, and you just like, okay, I got this. And it's a beautiful space to be in, a beautiful place to be in. It's unfuckwithable, right? It's unfuckwithable. It's like, yeah, I said what I said. I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm moving and grooving how I do. How you like me now. And the thing is, you like yourself now. And that's a powerful space to be in, right? So that's great. So we must be willing. And that's another important key component to a lot of this shit. You have to be willing. You have to be willing to receive your vision, right? And be open to the change of that, the transformation of that, the messages that you're receiving from that. You can't resist that. You have to be willing and open, right? Because you're going and you're reaching your fullest potential. And so you're letting go of all old energies, old behaviors, patterns, and conditionings, right? That you're identifying. You're like, oh, I see how I'm cock blocking myself. Let me stop that. How can I repair this behavior, pattern, and conditioning? How can I move in strides abundantly, prosperously, and positively too? Oh, no. I'm not going to go into the karma or the emotion of that I don't want to deal with right now. So don't deal with it. Sometimes you don't have to deal with everything all at once. Yes, we should heal our fields, but sometimes our upgrades operate in a roller coaster ride too. And sometimes when we get to the next wave, in that next stage, then we're even more prepared to deal with that old wave, that old stage in a different kind of way because it's a new setting. But let's get ourselves to that new setting. So it's not sweeping baggage under the carpet and all this kind of stuff. It's just, I'm going to handle that at a later space and place where I'm more equipped to deal with that kind of shit. But right now, my move is this way and I'm riding it. I'm writing it and I'm riding it. You know what I'm saying? Right? So be willing, right? Be willing. Be open to the change. Reach your truest potential by letting go of old energies and moving forward, right? So this is going to involve you rewriting your stories that limit you and release all that doesn't serve. You can be practicing even mantras, right? Saying them, right? Releasing, right? Old conditions and stuff like that, and writing new narratives, new mantras, right? And releasing all stories that hold you back. old behaviors that hold you back, old patterns, right? Taking charge of your behaviors that have been cycling you through life, that haven't been serving you. Creating new habits that serve you now, right? Because as we work with the elements, right? And this element of release, right? Because this is going to be the final new moon of 2023, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, right? Okay. And then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're going from a 7 to an 8. 8 is great, right? So Sagittarius, being the seeker of truth, invites us, right, to examine the truths we live by. Are they our truths? What are the beliefs and stories we tell ourselves about what is possible or impossible? I am possible, right? Kim Possible. Right? We communicate with ourselves in subtle ways, right? Every day. Every day we're communicating with ourselves by the things we do, the things we say, the things we think, the things we feel, and all this other kind of stuff. We're communicating. And so it's important to notice if we are sabotaging, right? If we are sabotaging ourselves and resisting growth, even in small ways, right? Small ways. So it's essential to lean into any fears surrounding our growth, surrounding our evolution, and explore what we are truly afraid of. Sometimes we just got to jump out of that plane. Ooh, I just had my heart fall because I have a living memory of jumping out of a plane when I went skydiving. And it's crazy, right? Sometimes, let me tell you my story of skydiving, right? So when I went skydiving, I had all these rules, right? I had all these things that I was saying. My fear was talking, and I was like, um, as long as I'm not the last one off the plane, I better not be that, or whatever the case may be. And so here I am, and I didn't want to do it by myself. So, my sister came and another friend of ours came, and it was all three of us. And we did the tangent jump and stuff like that. And I'll share a snippet I have in the past of me falling off a plane. I'll share it again and stuff like that. Eventually, right? But so here we are. So you have to, before you go skydiving and stuff like that, you got to watch a video, you got to get prepped, you got to know how to put your stuff. They tell you all these things, all these scenarios. They tell you what you're gonna do and all this kind of stuff. And then you have your person with you, right? That accompanies you throughout the whole entire experience, right? So the person you need to be tied to. So my guy was great, right? That I was tied to and stuff like that. So we get into this like smaller plane or whatever, and we got to fly to a certain type of altitude and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm gonna be the last person off this plane. Like aside from the pilot, right? So my fears, because I'm watching everybody. And once you get to once you're on the plane, there's no turning back. So that's part of it. Like you push yourself, right, to your max. Like, so I already, when we were in the room learning about it, watching the video about it, that was a fear. That was fear level 1, right? Right. And then I go to the next level, which is you strapping up, you're putting all your gear on and stuff like that. That's fear level 2, right? So now I still have every opportunity that if I want to change my mind, I could still change my mind at this time, right? And so, but once you're on the plane, you cannot change your mind. Once that plane takes off, there's nowhere to go but down from here. And they tell you specifically, you can't change your mind up in the plane. Like the pilot is the only one that's coming down, right? Everybody else has to be off the plane. Like that's how they sell it to you. That's how they tell it to you. And that's how it is, right? And so So like all these levels of fears, right? Like even fears that you didn't even think about prior to getting up there, like new levels are unlocked. But I was in great company. All the people that were on the plane were wonderful. We laughed. Like one of the things about me when I'm afraid too is I laugh, right? So that's another thing. So meet your fear. Meet that side of you that is afraid, that you laugh, right? Because I never laughed so much, but when I tell you that I was so fucking afraid, afraid that even at one point he's like, open your eyes. I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to. I'm falling, right? But you have to open your eyes for the experience. That's another level while you're flying in the air, unlocked, like down, down, down. Like you have to open your eyes. You have to witness what you are experiencing. Like, and yes, it's gonna be scary. Fuck yeah, it's scary. It's so fucking scary. It's beyond scary, right? This leveling of unknown. Am I gonna make it, or I'm gonna hit the concrete down below, wherever? If we land, can I land in the water, please, and have another shot? I'd rather swim with the sharks than fucking hit the pavement. Like, you know what I mean? But either way, right? So anyways, like all the stuff that we call into our own existence, right? Like I swear, as long as I wasn't the last one off the plane, I was the last one. So I watched everybody go before me. So my sister was the one before me. I was the last one off. And that's it. Like the push. And then like when you have to walk to the where the door is, right? The plane door that's open, and you're like there, and you have to, like, they don't push you, you have to willingly kind of like fall like off, like. And so when like they, because the guy is like strapped up behind me, he's like, go ahead, go, because I'm in front of him, and I'm like, no, 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 no. So the whole point of me sharing this is, even if you're like so afraid, and you're like, no, 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 trust. I'm gonna cry. Trust that even in your new fears that will be unlocked, right? The courage that you display will prove um prosperous. It will prove um groundbreaking. It will prove expansive, right? Because like once we hit earth again, right? Once we got down, and it was so exhilarating, right? Like it was so my heart racing, the adrenaline, the natural adrenaline that comes up. Um and really meeting, like, what was I afraid of? Dude, it's still scary no matter what. But what are we truly afraid of is the point I'm just trying to make here. Right? So it's the only way to meet that fear is to greet that fear. Right? The only way to meet it is to greet it. So I greet you, fear, with open arms, right? Because I'm talented, I'm gifted, right? And I have the divine partnerships that are in alignment with me at this time. And the joy and the happiness that I bring into every situation, the harmony that I've created, the productivity that I am doing, right? The hope, success, and the balance that is in my life. I'm increasing this. This is healthy, wealthy, stealthy, right? And so it's essential really to really lean in on these fears and explore what's stopping us, right? Because the only way is up from here. So even if I would have hit that ground pavement, my soul was gonna fly. So it's new life, and right, it's new divinity, right? So in meeting our fears, we also get to uncover who we truly are in these moments, in these times, right? Um, and who we can be without our fears. That's important, right? Because we already know who we are with the fears. But who are we without them? That's an important question to write down. Write it down. Who am I without these fears? Like, script that, write that, create that, build that, right? Who am I without these fears that stop me? I love this. I really do. I really do. Give me a moment, please. Right? So I don't know. I don't know why I shared that, but here I am sharing that story with you all, and maybe someone here needed to hear that, right? About meeting your fear, greeting your fear, and stuff like that, right? Because this upcoming new moon in Sagittarius, it's a transformative time, right? A transformative time for us to embrace the future, our future, right? With optimism. What are you doing? My cat's crazy. Um, and to really ask ourselves, right? Like, what what to ask ourselves, like, what's the best that can happen for us, right? Um, who am I without fear of blah, 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 blah? You fill in the blanks, right? Because it's time to delve into, right, your deepest desires and to trust yourself, right? So trust yourselves, right? And how you manifest the life that you want, knowing that the universe has your back, right? So by releasing, right? Releasing limiting beliefs, right? And flow, right? And flow. And this could be with money too, because that's what it says. And flow with money, follow through with all that you do. And in flow with money will be too, right? Like if you're worrying about or you have fear in regards to your finances and things like that too, and how you go about and doing things. Look, and I'm even looking at this. I've been looking at this, right? So this is showing up for you guys here reverse, but I'm looking at it up, right, which is a new beginning, right? So new beginning, an offer, flourishing, meeting someone new stability, security, abundance, potential. But you got to let go of the fear, right? Of that unstable situation, right? Any kind of delays that you might be experiencing or going through that might cause you to think negatively in a way that doesn't serve your purpose, right? So ironing out all the details, right? Being cautious, right? Have your fears, have your money blockages under review. Like, how can I change my mindset? How can I revise my mindset, right? This Mercury retrograding too, right? The shadowy parts, right? Review, revise, and renew too. Like review, revise, renew, right? So like how can you tap into, right, and embrace the change, right? Seeking truth within yourself, right? And tapping into the expansiveness, right? Oh, that this brings, right? So it happens when you most expect it. So instead of, oh, let me let it go, let me not think about it, you know, like even that saying that, like, let me not focus on it too much because then it's not going to happen. I don't want to get my hopes up high. And so get your hopes up high. Magic happens when you most expect it to happen. So don't act like, look at inflow, but you got to be in flow with the energy, in flow with the money. Money is currency. Your energy is all of that too, right? Being in flow with that, right? So, right. So I love the Sagittarius energy, not just because I am a Sagittarius. Right? But ambush fear with your ferocious dream, right? Ambush fear with your ferocious dream, all right? Change maker, make waves. Like, what the fuck were we just talking about? Like, you know what I mean? So, right? So the key, let's focus on some key qualities of Sagittarius that we can embrace, that we can embody, right? The joy and the optimism that they bring. Fine, you don't have to be a joyous motherfucker, right? You don't have to be all joy, 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 joy. Like a lot of people are killjoy, right? But you could be joyful in your own way. You don't have to be a jolly motherfucker, okay? But you could be joyful. You could be grateful. How about that? Right? And so Sagittarius is known, right, for their joyful, jolly nature, right? And their optimistic selves, right? So during this new moon, it's encouraging us, right, to embrace a positive outlook, right? and approach life with a sense of enthusiasm and excitement, gratitude, right? Gratitude. Gratitude is my favorite attitude, right? Gratitude is my favorite attitude. If you can't think of anything to be grateful for, you're an ungrateful mofo. And switch that shit up. That could be part of your conditioning, sabotaging you in ways that do not serve, right? Right? So it's about expansion and growth, right? So Sagittarius is the sign associated with expansion and growth, right? So this new moon, what do you really want, right? Ambush your fear with a ferocious dream, right? So expand your horizons, right? Both mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, right? If you feel stuck, move. Move your body. Move something. Change it up. Like move furniture. Take a walk. Go outside. Stretch. Dance. Sing. Write. Ride a bike. You know what I mean? Climb a mountain. Go on a hike. Fly somewhere if you could. Go to a different town. If you can't travel, go to a different town. You could take a bus, you could take a train, go to a different town, go to a different neighborhood, visit somewhere nearby. You don't have to go on a plane to go travel the world. You know what I'm saying? Google the 10 best parks in your neighborhood or in your area. 10 best places to meditate or something like that, or to see sights, right? Or just whatever is of your interest. Best place to go bowling in the state of, you know what I mean? Like go someplace different. Change your scenery. Don't be like, oh, I wish I could travel, but I don't have any money. You know what I mean? Like, no, you can travel. There's so many different means of traveling. You could take a bus, you could walk, you could ride a bike, scooter, walk, drive. You know what I mean? Uber. Right? Because there's this raw intention, creator alchemy, right? And then also think about it like Sagittarius too, like it's all about adventure and exploration. So use this new moon energy to tap into that for yourself, right? The Sagittarius love adventure and exploration, and people that are tapped in, turned on, tuned into that, right? Like me and my best friend, we go on so many adventures. Like I cannot tell you, right? We pick different areas, we go on hikes, we go on scenic, like it's so many different cool fucking adventures because we can and we will and we do, right? And even if you don't have somebody to do it with, I do it with my daughter too. We go on so many different adventures. Sometimes all three of us go on different different adventures all the time too, because we got three different temperaments and moods and stuff like that. So not moods, but interests, you know? So I get to enjoy the best of all worlds with two people I love. Right? And so, and oh my gosh, I had an adventure recently by myself. Right? I had to drop my daughter off somewhere, and I was gonna pick her up, and I had a couple of hours to explore a new area for me. And so I did by myself. And let me tell you, I had such a good time. You know what I mean? So like, there's room, right? To embrace, right, the spirit of adventure, right? Embrace the spirit of adventure and seek new experiences intentionally, purposefully, right? Um, eh, that will also help you to broaden your perspectives and open you up to new opportunities too when you do such things, right? Fierce serenity, right? Fierce serenity, collaborations of souls, right? Um, right? And also meaning and higher purpose. Sagittarius is all about meaning and higher purpose, right? So being tapped in, turned on, tuned in, right, to the search for meaning. That's all Sagittarius, baby, right? The search for meaning and purpose in one's life. Like, that should be fun. That should be exciting, right? I had a coming to Jesus moment recently, right? That made sense. And I had to meet with um the block that stopped me from seeing this growth and expansion up until this coming to Jesus moment. I was like, holy shit. I've been saying this, which was a lie. It was fear talking. It was disappointment talking. It was conditioning, behavioral patterns, and stuff like that talking for me in my now experience based off of a previous experience that caused me not to see a solution that was right in front of my face. Right? And it's just like, oh my gosh, like, okay, I see now. I can see clearly now. The rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way, and it gets out of my way, right? So yeah, you're getting it out of your way, right? Because you have this optimistic viewpoint. And that's a good place to be, because the new moon in Sagittarius, right, invites us to adopt, right, this optimistic viewpoint towards life and all the possibilities that it holds, period, right? And it encourages us to believe in ourselves. So believe in yourself, right? I believe in myself, my dreams, and my ability to manifest them. Maybe one of those things don't ring true, right? You could believe in yourself to some degree. So meet the block that doesn't believe in yourself, right? You may not have a clear vision on your dreams, and maybe that could be a block, right? Like, I'm not really clear on my purpose. I'm not really clear on my dreams. I'm not really clear on my goals. So let's get clear, right? And so that might be what's blocking your ability to manifest certain kind of things, because certain things cannot be clear, right? So encouraging yourself to believe in yourself, to follow your true north node, right? And you find that as being the seeker of truth within you, right? Because Sagittarius is known to be the seeker of truth, right? Truth, right? So during this new moon, we are encouraged to explore our own truths, right? To meet our fears, greet our fears, right? Question our beliefs, right? Really question your beliefs, have answers for yourselves, right? And seek a deeper understanding of yourself and the world around you and your place in it. And have trust and faith, the spark of the hustle. Integrate your knowing. Now it's time to integrate your knowing. You can know a lot of shit and do very little with all of that. It's not what you know, it's how you do with what you know. What moves you make with what you know, right? Integrate your knowing, right? I like that. I'm going to leave this. Wait, I'll just write it. Integrate, that might be the title. Right? Integrate your knowing. Right? Because it's time, right? Spark your hustle in the now. In the now. In the now, right? And have trust and faith, right? And tap in, turn on, tune into all these wonderful qualities of Sagittarius that are beneficial and helpful to you to get there, right? Have this optimistic viewpoint, right? Inviting you, right? It invites you to have this optimistic view towards life and the possibilities it holds, right? Encouraging you to believe in yourself, right? Because you can manifest that which you desire. Well, what is it that you desire? And how do you inspire? And how do you aspire, right? Celebrate your wins. Big, small, tiny, doesn't matter. I'm sure that even if you don't think you have a win right now, if you really dig deep dive, deep dive, even if it's right now, oh my God, I had a moment of gratitude in my life and I haven't felt that in a long ass time. There go, celebrate your win. Because that's a win right there in the now. Right? right? And this framework of Sagittarius, right, provides us with a great foundation, with a great framework, that's the word, right? To embrace the energy, right? And make the most, sorry, really itchy. To make the most of this transformative, what the fuck? Transformative potential, because you are epic. You are epic. You are epic. I want to write that down too. Right? You are epic. Right? You are epic. Right? You are epic in your self-discovery. Right? I like that. I like that. You're epic in your self-discovery. Success in transformation. Okay, success in your transformation. Bringing about balance. Right? In the now. What? What? I gotta take a picture of that. I do. Picture of that. I also need a moment. Right? So we got the star, wish granted, right? Right? Wish granted, which is all about our own contentment, spirituality, inspiration, serenity, our purpose, renewal, healing, hope, calm, faith, right? You could also have Aquarius in your chart. You don't have to be, but you can. You know what I mean? So I'm sorry. Right, and then you have, oh, 2 cards came out with this, actually. I didn't even see that, right? So we got the turning point, right? You could be 24 years old, you could be 42 years old, you don't have to be. Hold on. You could be 42 years old, I said, right? You could be 22 years old, you don't have to be. It could be life path number 4, life path number 6. It could be life path number 8. It could be life path number 2, I said. You don't have to be. You have Aquarius in your chart, like I said, right? So the return, right? The return, the start of a new cycle, right? Right timing, regeneration, inevitability, steady improvements, right? I love that, right? For this new moon, right? Because this new moon ushers in a time of all new moons, right? Usher in a time of new beginnings, right? But with this, it's expansive, right? With Jupiter in the mix, with Sagittarius in the mix, expansive thinking, aligning with the sun and the moon and the adventurous side of Sagittarius, right? Period. Right. So this it starts this new cycle, right? This new cycle that encourages us to embrace the archer, right? The archer's constructive traits of optimism, right? Enthusiasm, adventure, right? Honesty, outspokenness, right? And independence. I can't believe I didn't even say independence, right? Independence is such an important thing, right? And with grace, right? With grace, adornment, bringing out the beauty of it, the elegance, the outer as a reflection of the inner, right? Self-expression, vanity, charisma, right? So, with Sagittarius being a mutable sign, right? It ignites within us, right? This desire, right? For more, for exploration, for this broader understanding of our own world, right? And so with that comes grace, right? The new moon inviting us to integrate, right? To integrate, right? Like what I wrote down before, right? Integrate your knowing, right? So we're integrating our knowing, right? Inviting us to integrate these qualities in our lives positively, right? So we're doing this positively, right? Because it's an opportunity to focus on our goals that enhance our awareness, encourage us to step beyond our comfort zones, right? Our wishes being granted, right? And cultivating our experience confidently and optimistically, right? Of course, right? So Sagittarius's influence can lead us to think in grandiose terms, right? Sometimes setting overly ambitious expectations, right? But that's okay, right? But while dreaming big is a hallmark of, like, the sign and stuff like that, it's essential to remain grounded, right? And mindful of our actual capabilities, right? So we want to remain mindful of what we are capable of, right? So it's the periods, right, leading up to the full moon, which is the cold one, which I'll be doing a video on that too. So definitely tap in, tune in, because I do the videos when I do the videos and stuff like that, right? So that'll be in December 20 something, when I do the full moon one, right? I'll do it before that time, though, of course, right? To give you time to really embrace what it is that I'm saying and stuff like that, right? So it's a time too, and then Mercury going retrograde and stuff like that, to really set realistic goals, right? That'll lay out the foundation of our future success, right? Which is inevitable. Where was it? Inevitable, right? It's inevitable. And this inevitability that intertwines everything. Look at this, is the serpent eating its own tail. This is the Ouroboros, but it's the connections of the waves and the intricateness of it in every kind of way, right? Ouroboros is in a circle, full circle, but not everything always goes in a fucking full circle. Everything is, like we said, waves, rise, and we're riding it at this time, and we're creating our own shapes for ourselves at this time, right? And I like this because this reminds me of that lightning strike, that Swahilo too, right? So either way, it's crucial, right? Right? Because this new moon too is also squaring Neptune, right? Our Piscean waters, right? So maybe some of you have Pisces in your chart, like I do, right? But either way, right? It's bringing attention to the themes, right? Certain kind of themes, right? When it's squaring, right? So what are these themes? There's themes of deception, right? Self-deception being the greatest one, right? Self-deception being the greatest one, and procrastination, right? How are you not getting done that you have to get done, right? Because shit got to get done, period. Right? So it's kind of like what I was saying before about that cycling. Like, what is it? What narratives are you feeding yourself that do not serve your greatest good, do not serve your purpose, do not serve, like, what outdated communications, like how often you're going to keep repeating the same cycle of even communication. Like, now it's time to turn the page, now it's time to start writing the new chapter, now it's time to live that new chapter. You know what I mean? And sometimes old narratives just gotta die already. You know what I mean? They don't need to be brought into this new chapter. Right? So it's crucial to stay vigilant, right? And mindful about what it is that you're saying, doing, thinking, and spreading. Right? And stay vigilant too against being misled or misleading yourself, right? And others too, especially when it's in regards to our goals, dreams, aspirations, right? So that's important. It's important. So, right, so a lot of the signs that are coming up for me right now is Virgo, right? It's another mutable sign, right? So we have our mutable signs: Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces, right? These signs being affected, right? So if you fall within this range of those signs, you can feel this lunar phases effects more profoundly, right? If you have any of these in your dominant signs, like sun, moon, rising, you know, wherever it is that it's affecting you, right? Because this is offering you a real a grand, this grandiose this massive quantum chance for personal transformation and growth, right? Especially coming out of like procrastination and stuff like that, right? Because but what new intentions are you going to be setting, right? So King of Swords, right? Mind over matter, having mind over matter, and the strength, right? Fire, invisible force, right? So this compassion towards yourself, this courage, this self-belief, right? Infinite potential in your own mind sphere too, right? This could be Aquarius, right? You can be dealing with air signs or have this tapped in. You're tapping into the air sign quality element too, right? And stuff. King of Swords. I said Knight of Swords. Did I say Knight of Swords or King of Swords? But this is King of Swords energy, right? Upright, right? So right, this gentle persuasion, right? Influential wisdom, right? Doing it by the book, right? Being truthful, wise, especially in all legal matters, right? Being stern, precise, right? Candid, detached too, in the way that you're doing certain kind of things. So it's that free flow energy, right? I'm flowing, I'm growing, I'm glowing, right? Because you have this infinite potential, right? So set your intentions, right? Because especially now it's an extremely potent time for envisioning too a life filled with adventure, right? With learning and your own truth seeking, right? So this is an excellent time for journaling, right? Creating your vision boards, or any other form of intention setting that resonates with you and stuff like that, right? You could be a life path number 8. You don't have to be. You could be an air sign. You don't have to be. You could be a Leo. You don't have to be. An earth, right? You can be an earth sign. So all signs here are showing up on deck, right? Or you could be a fire sign, right? Or any of the mutable signs that we said: Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces, right? Yeah. So this is a strong time for you to really, like Page of Wands, to do what you want, right? To create exciting plans, right? To good news too on its way, right? Being creative, playful, a traveler, right? Being childlike in the way that you go about it, being a free thinker, right? This is an energetic powerhouse time for you to really dive into that what you do. So you could be Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, have that dominant in your chart, any of the fire signs, right? Just this fire energy, the Hierophant, right? Rulers, being a ruler and leader of these worlds, right? Knowing right from wrong, right? Deprogramming your programming and reprogramming. So programming, right? And not conforming to certain kind of things, right? Right. And so some of you could be getting married too at this time too, and or shifting your perspective, right? Transforming that which you how you view marriage and your values and what faith you have in it and what that means to you, because maybe there's a communing coming in too. Maybe there is a story being told, unfolding, right, for yourself, partnering, a life partner or something too. And just how maybe you didn't want to conform to the way that this world is because you see the way that this world is, but what value do you bring to the table about how you are going to move forward? So let's say you never believed in marriage and stuff like that because of that which you have seen and all this other kind of stuff. Maybe now love is transforming you to see it in a different way, a new light, and or in a way that it's going to be freeing for you or optimistic for you or something like that too, or just your place as a leader in this world, right? And how maybe you didn't feel that you qualified and to a certain degree or way of something, and now you see a new way. Hold on, please. Okay, I don't know where I was, but I am going to pay attention to what landed when I put this down, right? So the Seven of Wands came up and it's worth fighting for, right? So make a stand, right? Face it head on, right? So it's kind of like with those fears that I was saying, or the things that you have that you are going to make better sense of at this time, and leaning towards the elements that are being beneficial for you to make sense of certain kind of like self-deceptions and things like that, right? So don't back down. And then look, haters are gonna hate, right? So, but this freedom that you have, right? And you're flying and these eagle, you got your wings and stuff like that, right? Because as you reflect and stuff like that, you're really considering truly what it is that you want, right? And what you want to achieve and how you can align these goals, right? Especially with the Sagittarian qualities that are helpful for you at this time. So while you're staying grounded, right, and you're aiming high, right, you're ensuring your goals are attainable and being realistic, right? So you're being aware of your own self-deception. Right, you're being aware of your own self-deception, right? As you strive for your honesty, right? Self-honesty and your own aspirations, and avoid fooling yourself about your own capabilities and intentions, right? So embracing this adventurously as well, right? Opening yourself to the new experience, the new perspective, the new way of, aligning with your stuff as you focus on your learning, your growing, your glowing, right? Because it's just that's the time to do, right? As you embrace this full moon, right? For the full moon. So as you do this new moon, right? As you manifest your desires on this new moon, full moon comes, you're illuminating, right? That which is subconscious, the timing, right? So as you continue to work on all that you do, look, 1 month or next full moon, there's going to be a certain level of awareness, a climax, right? Moving on, a cycle of completion, right? So like 1 month or the next full moon or on a full moon cycle, because remember how it works. Like it doesn't necessarily like you could do stuff for a new moon, right? You can manifest on a new moon, right? Um, and stuff like that, and you can work the moon cycles, but it doesn't mean that the very next full moon, new moon, that is going to be made manifest. It could happen a couple of full moon, new moons, but it's saying on a full moon, certain kind of things are going to be made manifest and clear to you, right? Because this moon, it's time for you to embrace that what you're doing, like coins, right? So things take time, connected to nature, right? So hardworking, as you continue to be hardworking, responsible, protective, right? Defensive, letting go of defenses too, I feel like, and not being so stubborn anymore, right? But being patient and loyal and knowing that things take time, right? You can have Capricorn in your chart too. You don't have to, right? But you're embracing this expansive energy, right, of Sagittarius, right? And you're setting intentions that are bold yet grounded, right? And committing to exploring new horizons, right? With optimism, honesty, and courage, trusting in your journey of growth and transformation, right? Because this new moon is offering you this opportunity, right, to really dream big. Dream big, right? Dream big and set your sights on new heights, right? As you glow, as you, what was I saying? Grow into your know, you glow. No, no. But look at, and when I look at this, look at Seven of Coins, right? Good things take time. That's like what's standing out here, right? Things take time. There could be a pregnancy too here for some of you, right? A birthing of something new. It's not a pregnancy, right? Perseverance, right? Perseverance, right? Coming into fruition, right? Investments being ripening, right? And just having patience in that which you are developing, right? Making progress, because you're making progress here, right? So I am open to the expansive wisdom of Sagittarius guiding my path to greater understanding and adventure, right? With each step, I embrace the journey of growth, welcoming new experiences and perspectives and abundance, right? Two, I trust in my ability to transcend limitations and reach for the stars with confidence and clarity, right? So King of Wands, natural born leader, right? So you're a natural born leader, right? Getting things done, right? Entrepreneur, right? How do you know you're an entrepreneur? When your work is self-sufficient without you having to be there, when you can travel the world and know that your business is running smoothly, right? A lot of people confuse entrepreneurship with working for yourself. Like, just because you work for yourself doesn't make you an entrepreneur, right? You could be a soulpreneur and stuff like that. But like, if you want that business expansion, that where your business works for itself and stuff like that, to put you in the entrepreneur category, you know, that's going to require some dedication and getting things done, getting things going, getting things moving and stuff like that, right? Knowing the difference between like working independently or working for yourself and being an entrepreneur, because they're not the same, right? They're not the same, right? When you're an entrepreneur, your business is flourishing, right? You have it running. You can run a business from any part of the world. You can take a vacation. Your business doesn't need you to be there, right? In order for it to function, right? That's entrepreneurship. That's a business owner and stuff like that, or whatever. But when you work for yourself and you're just like an independent contractor, or, you have businesses that need you, and if you don't do it, nobody else does it. Like, that's not entrepreneurship yet. But if you want to get into that space, into that place, know that you are that type of free thinker, right? And you can be successful in all that you do, and you're creative too. And so there's a build up to that leveling of success for yourself as an entrepreneur, if that is your ultimate goal, right? Quest, vision, right? So be that seeker of truth, right? Be that seeker of truth, right? Bravely exploring, right, your new horizons and embracing the lessons that they bring, and facing and greeting every fear that you come and you meet with and stuff like that, right? So certain kind of personalities might clash. You might come into, battle of the competition, right? Chaos, misunderstandings and stuff like that. But don't lose your temper, right? Because you are the emperor, right? So behave that way, right? Behave that way in the position of power that you are having established for yourself, right? Taking action, right? Getting shit done, right? A sense of authority. Your energy is authoritative, right? Powerful, right? Being stable as a leader, right? And stuff like that. And as you continue to lay down your foundation, just be patient with everything, right? As you're setting goals, you're grounding, right? You have great prospects ahead of you, right? Good news is on its way, right? So continue to keep being ambitious and working hard towards your goal, remaining faithful in all that you're doing, right? Ace of Swords, truth, awareness, and insight, right? So these epiphanies that you're having, this clarity that you're having, this force is communicating your ideas, right? Focus on the truth and the vision that you see through, right? You're going to be swept off your feet with what the universe has to bring for all that you do and all that you are, right? So it's going to be over the top, right? Be confident, excited, be heroic. Travel is on its way too, right? As you walk away from all that does not serve you too, right? So, right? Because you got remember this, the first card, and the first card is always important for me, right? What wants to show itself, wish fulfillment, right? So being content with that wish fulfillment, right? And being calm and faithful, knowing that it's here for you, right? Knowing that it's here for you and it's happening at this time. Right? I know what I'm gonna get. I see it. So keep embracing the adventure, right? Step out of our comfort zones, right? That's what the new moon in Sagittarius is inviting you to do, to step out of your comfort zone, embrace adventure, right? Try new things, right? Explore the unfamiliar territories, especially in the fear department, right? Greet your fears, right? Actually, I wanted to write that down too, right? Greet your fears. Greet your fears with good cheer. And I'm just being positive. Right? Greet your fears with cheers, right? Continue to seek your meaning and purpose, right? Sagittarius is so deeply connected with all of that, right? Searching for meaning and purpose. Um, to reflect on your life's purpose, right? Reflect on it, align your actions, right, with your higher values and beliefs, right? Because it's time to assess, right, whether your current path is in alignment with your true calling and making any and all necessary adjustments as needed, right? So as you do that, you're cultivating this optimism, right, and joy, right? Because Sagittarius is known for that, and you're embracing the element of this, right? Encouraging you to cultivate a positive outlook, right? And approach life with enthusiasm, right? So survival, what? Self-observance, what? I love these cards, right? So this is the past, right? We're letting go of that, the survival of fears, right? Zeta Reticuli, right? Letting go of these fears, right? Meeting and greeting fears. What the hell did we just say? Oh my gosh, I cannot. And how we're doing that for our future is through self-observance, right? We're going to read these cards from the book because you know that I always like to read these particular cards from the book. If you're new here, please know that this is not the first time I'm using this deck. I have thousands of videos that you can shift through and see through and stuff like that. And there are many that I use these cards and stuff like that, right? As we expand our knowledge and perspectives, I just really like to read from the book and stuff like that as we trust in this journey. But I just love how I was talking about greeting our fears, and I guess that's what this wants to focus on now. And so that's what we're going to talk about, right? Um, so, right, so in the ancient days of the Zeta, right, Reticuli, their species nearly destroyed themselves due to high planetary toxicity and misuse of technology. Wow, sounds kind of like now, right? When they realized that their species was dying, they experienced the most primal of fears, that of no longer continuing as a species. These survival fears forced them to look deeply within and make drastic changes. The same is true in our lives. Often we don't make changes until we can clearly see that our old ways will only destroy us. By then, we have little chance of change. What part of your life needs to be changed? Begin the process now before it becomes too difficult. The saga of the Zetas is extremely important to humans, for they represent a possible timeline of Earth that could possibly destroy itself. Originally from the Vega colonies, the Zeta species created a very unbalanced society that focused on mental ability and technological advancement to the exclusion of nearly all else. Wow. This created an extremely toxic environment on their world, which caused sterility and a rapidly declining planetary ecosystem. The cards from the three Zetas eras, past, present, and future, explore the depths of their despair and the transformation that saved their species. This card and card number 33 explores the deep emotional trauma that the Zetas experienced as they realized their species was dying. This card refers to the most primal of fears, that of survival. Humans experience this terror time and time again. Right? We only have to look at conditions on the planet to know that at any given moment, thousands are experiencing this fear. If you have pulled this card, look at it in the context of your life circumstance and the other cards. Perhaps the card is telling you to look at your own survival fears and learn to heal them. Perhaps it is telling you that you have a connection to the Zetas of this era and are helping them in some way. If you have no clear understanding of what this card means in the context of your own life, use the theme in your meditation to see if you can gain deeper clarity. Working with this issue as a human is extremely powerful and can change your life and those of others because it can free you from the worry, fear, and anxiety that keep you stuck. Right? I love that. Right? I love that this came up. I love that I do this all here. Like, I love it. I love the synchronicity, the alignment, the alchemy that exists in all my videos. I am so thankful. I am grateful. I am a conduit, a channel for divine messaging. If you don't know, now you know, you know? All right. And then we have this self-observance. Right. So after much struggle as a species, the Lyrians eventually healed themselves. Right. This is the future. Right. The future. This is the future. Right. Eventually healed themselves by honestly and objectively observing themselves. At first, this can be a difficult task, but in the end, it leads to powerful transformation as long as it is done without judgment. The power of self-observation is essential for any person or species who seeks transformation. Begin this process now. Just observe, see your habits and patterns without the need to fix anything. It is an alchemical process that produces spiritual evolution on a profound level. The love and wisdom of the Lyrian forefathers can guide you. Just ask for their help. This Lyrian time stream represents the Lyrian culture after they healed their karma and the challenges of the past when they were a young species, right? When a culture enters this phase of species maturity, it is like a renaissance. Consciousness begins to shift and they begin entering the galactic community from a place of respect and with the vision of the unified whole of creation rather than individual planets or species. This card is very important because Earth has just begun making its first tiny steps towards species maturity like their Lyrian forefathers. One of the most essential aspects of expressing this maturity is the ability to see oneself clearly, to see the negative as well as the positive, and embrace it all as a valuable growth lesson. It requires maturity to see the things that need to be changed about yourself, and then implement those sometimes painful changes in order to experience a rebirth. At this time in Earth's development, this ability of self-observance is crucial for both the human species as a whole and for individuals. Without this honest self-evaluation, neither a species nor a person can fully transform. Wow, I love how these two completely connected with each other. Like, do you see that? And with our conversation, right, leading up to the pulling of these cards. So either way, I want to start closing this out, and I want to close it out with another rune kind of casting here, and then whatever rune stands out to me at that time, we'll read it specifically and go a little bit more in depth with that rune itself. And then that'll be the end of this video. There are thousands of other videos here for you to tap in, turn on, tune in. If you like this type of content, definitely give this a thumbs up. I appreciate each and every one of you that show love and stuff like that here. You could also find me on Instagram at Enchantress, ENCHANTRESS. That's me, the one and only. I have gone private. You could also subscribe to my Instagram. You can find me on TikTok. I am Alchemistic Poetess. You can find me on my website at enchantressthebabbler.com. You could also find me on my blog, my baby, enchantingbabbles.blogspot.com. Okay. Right. So just, trust the journey, trust your journey, these energies and stuff like that. It's Sagittarius is associated with trust and faith. Like I come from I always, like whatever the case may be, hold everything like a grain of salt, like or water in your hands and stuff like that. Everything that we know to be even astrology is conditioned into our environment to understand and explore and stuff like that. But like especially like for the type of upbringing and stuff like that that I've had and the life that I've had to endure and had to overcome and things like that, I think about that leveling of optimism and faith, and where does it come from? If I had to say, if I had to pick a part of one of my astrological configurations that helped me endure a lot of the stuff that I have had to endure in my life with trust and faith, I'm going to say Sagittarius really helped me through that, and so with this new moon in Sagittarius, let it encourage us to trust ourselves more, to trust in the universe, trust the process of life, right? And have faith in the universe's support, right? No matter how things might look, you know, it reminds us to let go of control, knowing that we can't, like what I was saying about the plane, right? I was like, well, I better not be the last one off the plane. And the universe was like, bitch, guess what? You're the last one off the plane. What about now? And I had to meet that fear, greet that fear, like embrace that fear. Like, you know what I mean? And so it's reminding us to just let go of certain things that are beyond our control that we have no control over. You know what I mean? Up until that point, I had control, and when we were in the room watching the video, I could have left and said, no, I'm not doing this. Then up until that point, when I leveled up that fear and went to level 2 fear, level stage 2, and I was gearing up to go skydiving, I could have backed out then, right? But then I wanted to level up to 3 going on to the plane. Like, you know what I mean? So it's letting go of the control. Like at that point, it's beyond my control. Now I'm up in the air, I'm on that plane, and Godspeed, you know what I mean? And so surrendering to the flow of life in that kind of way and trusting that everything is going to unfold as it should, right? So, and trusting in your intuition, connecting with your intuition. Like you can't be living a life that is a lie and expecting yourself to be connected to your intuition. That's a lie. Like, you know what I mean? So follow your intuition and your honest truth, right? Being authentically true and unique to yourself and real with yourself. Be most real. Like I always, my greatest advice that I have given many, I did many, like, you know what I'm saying? But that has flowed through me, channeled through me is always, look, you can lie to the world, but you can never lie to yourself. Always, if the most realest person you need to be with in this world is yourself. You know what I mean? So be as real as you can. Be really real with you, because that's the person that counts at the end of the day. Be most real with yourself. You know what I mean? So listen and follow your inner guidance, right? Stay tapped in, turned on, tuned into your own wisdom, and trust the messages that arise from within. The more authentic you are with yourself, whatever arises from within is real. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no reason to doubt it. So tune into your intuition and make decisions and take actions that are aligned with your truest desires and highest of good, right? So, so let's align with the energies of the new moon, right? And make the most of this transformative potential, right? It's a time of growth. exploration, and aligning ourselves with our highest purpose, inviting ourselves to embark on a journey of self-discovery and expansion, right? So embrace this optimism, right? Okay. That's 3. Mhm. So let's embrace adventure. Let's keep living with our own meaning and purpose. Um, Let us continue to cultivate this optimism, joy, gratitude, right? Let us expand our knowledge, transform this knowledge. Let us apply this. Let's integrate our knowings, right? Let's trust the journey, following our intuition, and embracing all of this that is here for us to embrace, right? Right. So we have Lunjo again, which is about joy and happiness, right? And our productivity falling in between mankind and in between manas, which is mankind, identity, humanity, what separates us from other living beings, right? Is the way that is what separates us, right? How we choose to show our joy, be in joy, how we choose to birth our happiness, how we harmonize ourselves is what separates us from other living beings, right? And it fell in between again, Laguz, water, go with the flow, feminine, intuitive, right? And it's also touching, move, status, travel, change, which is Iwas, right? So it's on these, actually it's on 1, 2, 3, 4 points, right? Because it's near Brikana as well, birth, fertility, family, nurture, right? So we're giving birth to this, and it's also touching on Ingwas, which is successful conclusion, right? Then we have Athala falling on Athala, right? It's in between Othala and Dagas, right? So it's our heirloom property that's in our traits, our inheritance, right? This earthly inheritance, right? Hope, success, and balance, right? Increased prosperity, good health, right? Dagas, Othala, right? But then we also, I believe this one is this is the Hagalaz. I be forgetting the names of everything. Yeah, that's Hagalaz, right? Is that Hagalaz? Yeah, that's Hagalaz, right? Which is about destruction, natural disaster, hazard, drama. This could be like a tower, right? And protection, mourning, right? And Thuras, right? So it's like, so I don't like, it's not about being scared, right? But it's destroying. It's the natural disaster, right? This is the drama of life. This is the fear of life, right? And it's falling in between protection and strength, perseverance and recovery. So it's falling in between Uras and Thurisas. I don't know how to say these things, so I'm sorry. Right? But look at, we have this luck here in the form of destruction, right? That's bringing about strength, perseverance, and recovery, right? And we have this momentum and we have all this positivity around even the negative, right? So it's embracing that which is negative. Since this one came out twice, we're gonna read Munjo, okay, a little bit more deeper, right? Because it's showing itself, like, even more so again. And I was shaking that up. It could have landed anywhere and stuff like that. So let us Munjo, right? It's about hope, harmony, fellowship, perfection, friendship, and kindred spirits. Great minds think alike, though fools seldom differ. Be careful what you wish for, right? Wanjo. Um, the key concepts for this is joy, perfection, the art of correct wishing, So wish granted, you know, with the star card that came up before, right? So the correct application of will and the art of correct wishing, well-being, right? Contentment, hope, expectation, relationship, family bonding, right? Shared ideas or aims, right? Group harmony, symbols of shared identity, optimism, cooperative effort, like-mindedness, friendship, right? It's about contentment, optimism, like-mindedness, wishful thinking, shared identity. The energy of Wunjo is harmony of like forces, effortless ease, right? Which it keeps falling through water, go with the flow, feminine, intuitive, keeps falling to remind us of Laguz, right? So, the energy, right? Fulfillment, wishing, genuine friendship, right? So having these things on a mundane level, it's about parties, friendship, family, and community. But for divination, it's about joy, harmony, fellowship, accomplishment, prosperity, right? Stultification, sorrow, strife, alienation, warns of caution, blindness to danger, deception, travel, right? And if you want to look at it from a diagonal, right? Protection, warning, right? Which is Thoros, right? Which is Thoros. Right? Which is about giants, right? Strong one, right? Because Thoros is a tool, it's a weapon for defense. So you have divine protection, right? Against violence, against certain kind of, you know, evil eye, like deception and fuck shit type of vibes and energies, right? If we must fight for peace, then let us find our peace in battle, right? Thor is as it's about being strong, right? It's the unconscious forces, right? Um, against chaos, destruction by natural forces, right? On a mundane level, it's storms, tools, weapons, conflict, right? I'm also seeing a big, huge wave, like some kind of natural disaster with water too. Like I just saw that now too, like a wave sweeping through. Um, Anyways, I don't want to make this about worldly stuff. I'll do a separate video about worldly things that come up to mind and stuff like that, or like what's happening in this world, like I did kind of like with the other one, like, you know, where it's like talking about like Puff Daddy and stuff like that or whatever, the three faces. But anyways, you could check that one out too. Even though I don't say the names, but I said it's funny because I made that video and the very next day it came out with him being accused with three others. Well, three people. Anyways, it just doesn't matter. Anyways, I don't want to start doing this, but I just saw a huge wave of water. Um, some type of water, natural disaster with water. Right. But anyways, I don't know how common those are in parts of the world, but like this could also be metaphor in some kind of way if it's not actual earthly type of water. Yeah, I want to get out of this energy. But yeah, so anyways, that's what I have for you guys. Bye.